Hi friends. If you want to see what my favorite makeup items have been for 2019 in collaboration with CATE the Great Beauty, then please keep on watching. Hi, my name is Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves all things movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeup, so you can head over to my Instagram. If you probably haven't already noticed, this video is in collaboration with the beautiful, the witty, the clever CATE the Great Beauty. I was really happy that she wanted to collaborate and we were deciding what topics we should do, and I was like, are you okay with doing your yearly favorites with me? And she was like, yes. And we were like, yes. How can I describe Kate? It's the perfect cocktail. See what I did there? Between wit and sass. I mean, she just delivers her content in such a fresh, crispy way. I could listen to her talk all day. Not only does she do product reviews, but she does favorite videos. Her story times are amazing. And all in all, just a very solid channel in terms of the content and how it's delivered. I really admire Kate for her just articulation and how she delivers her information. Very much inspiring for myself in that I always want to be very clear and at the same time concise with what I present on my channel. And being a performer, I definitely relate to her in that realm, and you could just hear it in her voice. You can hear it that she will just blow your mind with her voice, you know what I mean? And I wanted to look CATE the Great Beauty-esque. I put an outfit on. Well, I just put this top on. My leggings are still on. And she loves her scarves as I do, so I made sure definitely had to have one on today. So a huge thank you to her for collaborating with me. If you haven't already, I'm sure you are subscribed to her, but if you are not, you're missing out. Definitely check her out and let her know that I said hello and am giving her lots of hugs and kisses. I will leave all her information down below, her video link, her channel link, as well as her Instagram if you want to visit her there as well. 2019, what a year it has been. I always get a little stressed out when I do my yearly favorites because when you think about the entire year of makeup buying that one has done, it could get a little overwhelming, and it could also shed some perspective on the matter. Definitely by the end of this year, I'm in a better headspace of spending. I don't have as many urges, or if I do have urges, I'm in a better mindset to control them. Before, I would have crazy dialogue in convincing myself I needed to buy this and needed to buy that. And although I am now, thank you so much for you guys' contribution to my channel growth, it has had a really great year. Now I'm in a place where people do come to me for reviews and such. Although I still buy makeup and I understand that reviews and looking over, speaking about new products still plays a vital role in my channel growth, and that's what people want to see. I'm still a little careful with what I buy because I want to buy something that I'm actually interested in, and there are plenty of videos I can film in regards to multi-look videos or my current foundation routine or my current skincare routine. I feel I could be better about the creativity portion of my channel and not it just having to be new product reviews. With that said, I'm going into 2020 just in a better headspace, just to not spend as much. I don't know if I'm in a position to do a no buy. I know there are plenty of channels like Whitney. Whitney does how to save your money and just have better spending strategy all around with makeup and how to ignore the hype. So her content is great in that regard. But for me, I still love buying makeup. I love finding out about new products. I'm going to be much better though about not spending as much and only really spending on the items that I know I'm going to love and that are just top notch in quality and performance. I rounded up my favorites for the year, and this is not to say that any items that I do not include on this list are still not my favorite. I have plenty. I'm going to do a separate favorite 2019 eyeshadow palette video because eyeshadow palettes definitely deserve their own video. I'm going to do skincare favorites. I'm definitely going to do a brush favorite video for 2019. I still want to do a separate cheek product video. We'll see. I'll look at my items again and kind of pinpoint the favorites that maybe I did not include in this video that I still want to speak about generally for favorites of 2019. And with that said, let's get started. I'm going to begin with complexion and just treat it like I were applying makeup from the beginning to the end. This item is not new for 2019, but when I did introduce it into my routine during the year, it really changed my foundation game. It went from like 5 to 20. And it's because I really didn't understand the product. I didn't think I was using it correctly. And once the brand's representative broke it down for me, explain what the product role is, what it's meant to do, and just to discover its full potential, life-changing. You know what I'm talking about. The Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is in 5 Tan. What this product is meant to do, it's a base, right? People use it as a base. If you have a lighter color, people use it as a highlighter, or you could even use it, I'm not sure how it works as a contour, but if people have experimented with a deeper shade than their skin tone in terms of adding a little more dimension that's softer than a traditional cream contour, you might have played with that. What this is meant to do is influence your foundation's texture, for your foundation to appear more blurred, more smooth. It really is a filter. I don't know how Charlotte accomplished such a sublime, marvelous formula. I mean, blew me out of the water in terms of what this has done positively to all my foundations in my collection. Anything I apply this with, it doesn't change the color, right? It's not so much going to change the color, but it's going to change your foundation's texture for the better, but also leave behind just this radiant and luminous finish without the grease, without the heaviness, without uneven texture, without spotty texture. I mean, and many of you have messaged me to say when you've done this cocktail of Flawless Filter and your favorite foundations, it's amazing. Skin looks amazing in person, on camera, in photographs. You cannot go wrong with this product. I think, and I have not used all of Charlotte's makeup, right? She has an extensive collection. I've used quite a bit, but not everything. Top three in what she has to offer. This, for me, if you ever wanted to dip into Charlotte Tilbury and you didn't know where to start, I will start with a Hollywood Flawless Filter. For sure. Let's take a sip. Kate, what are you drinking today? I'm having Puka 3 mint tea in my Aliens of Brooklyn mug. Ooh, I should drink tea while I'm filming more often. It's good for the throat. Next up is Best Foundation of 2019. I think you know. I think you already know. Have to give it to the Shiseido Synchro Skin Foundation. I discovered this, I think, online. I didn't jump at it. I was unsure. I thought, listen, let me pump the brakes, because at that time when this foundation released, I already had the Pat, I had Dose of Colors, I had Anastasia. Beautylish was really nice to send me the Charlotte foundation at the time. And again, it was at that point where I was like, slow down the spending. You don't have to jump at every foundation that comes out new on shelves, Alicia. But this intrigued me. The promise of it's self-refreshing, I don't think it actually self-refreshes. I think it just has a long wear formula and a beautiful finish that lasts throughout the day. I have it on with the Hollywood Flawless Filter as my base today. There are several traits in this whole complexion line, okay? Not only the foundation, but the concealers and the powders just blew me away. This foundation texture is lightweight and just offers up a good, solid, medium to full coverage. You can layer this and build it up, and it's just gonna leave behind a gorgeous texture, smoothing on the skin. Does not feel like makeup at all. I would say, depending on where you are on the skin condition spectrum, this could be either satin if you're oily, or maybe more soft matte if you're dry. I think it plays well with several skin conditions. I think if you are on the drier side, if you use a more moisturizing primer, or use something with a little more stick, if you rely on your sunscreen, if as you should applying sunscreen every day, then I think this will leave behind a beautiful finish. But another trait that I really love about this foundation, yes, it is SPF 30, which is great, but I wouldn't rely on makeup to provide your sun protection, as the amount that you actually need is far more than what you would need from a foundation for coverage, is the undertone. Jackie Aina also talked about this foundation on her channel. I think, I forgot the video she was demoing this in, but she might have, hopefully she mentioned her shade match. So if you wanted to check out what that is for her, you could head over. I'll actually try to find the video and post it down below. And it's the neutral undertone, but how it doesn't look gray. Sometimes neutral undertones, when you apply them on your skin, it could leave the skin looking a little drab, a little dull. It doesn't have the same radiance. It doesn't have that same brightness as you would maybe get from a yellow tone or golden undertone foundation, which I was relying on for a very long time because I thought every time I did neutral, my complexion looked flat. It didn't look as radiant as it does when I rely on a golden undertone foundation. But then I will look a little too warm at times, especially when I'm adding the bronzer. The final look in the end, I felt sometimes I looked a little too warm and golden. This is a true neutral undertone that it has been the best match for me I have ever seen out of all the foundations that I've used, not only in 2019 but in years prior. I would love to see Shiseido expand the foundation range for this line because I think even deeper skin tones have underwent the same thing, that the deeper you go, the redder the foundation shades tend to run. And this, I feel, has the deeper undertone foundations with also neutral undertones, that some deeper undertones still run neutral. They're all not necessarily running warm. So that's another great characteristic of this foundation. Again, like no matter where you are on the light, medium, I still think they need to work on their medium to tan spectrum a little bit because there's a huge jump from Citrine 360, which is what my shade is, to the next one over. So we might need like another shade there and a few more shades in the deeper side of the spectrum. But in terms of formula, the fact that there's no fragrance, thank goodness. Finish, undertone, texture, performance, I've been using it ever since. Next up, we have concealer. And I'm sure you probably know what this one is. Has to be without a doubt the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer. I have a backup of this concealer because I was just so thoroughly impressed the first time I used this. What to expect? Well, the fact that it's so lightweight under the eyes in terms of texture, but it still provides beautiful coverage, that it doesn't look heavy under the eyes, it doesn't latch on to any weird texture under the eyes, it just brightens the under eye without the heaviness, without being too pigmented. It's just an ideal texture to have under the eyes. And initially, when you swatch it, when you feel, it's very lightweight, and it might lead you to believe that it's not going to provide enough coverage, that it's going to be too lightweight, it's not going to have the blurring capabilities and dark circle covering capabilities of another concealer. But it does. It dries down to a soft matte finish, but it's not drying under the eyes. Even people with dry under eyes still can use this and they love the formula. And when speaking about the Shiseido foundation, I love their concealer too, namely the gel stick. I'm going to present these as the best for my concealer category for 2019 because I use both. I think they're both phenomenal. I think they both offer up different tasks. This one, for instance, this is the gel stick concealer in 304 medium. This is what I use to conceal my under eyes. I apply this on the under eyes first, carefully blend that out with my finger, and then I go on top with the Giorgio Armani. The liquid concealer from Shiseido I've been mainly using on my blemishes on my face or as an eye base like I did today. The reason why I give it to the Power Fabric, that I prefer the coverage from the Power Fabric than I do from the Shiseido, but we're splitting hairs here. I mean, they are all phenomenal and all that I've been using. Now, I do remember that I love the Too Faced. I definitely love the Too Faced. I think that is still a phenomenal concealer. I feel that the Shiseido and the Power Fabric are just a little more elegant in formulation. It's a little more lightweight, but still, again, the coverage is there. I also love the shade 301 from the Shiseido concealer. I rely on this if maybe I want to do not necessarily a contour, where the heck is it? Not so much contour with it, but if I just wanted just some dimension on my face and I didn't want to use a powder that day, I would go in with 401 Tan, and this is the shade that I use in the hollows of my cheekbones, and the gel sticks blend effortlessly with fingers. You don't need a brush, you don't need a sponge. Under the eyes, it's so emollient without feeling greasy or heavy on the skin that a finger blend is going to be ideal. So whether it's the Giorgio Armani or the Shiseido, all of them have been in my makeup bags like prominently for the last few months. And again, before that, it was the Too Faced, and I did use the Fenty Beauty as well. I prefer the tones in the Shiseido and the Giorgio Armani over the Fenty. I really love the Fenty formula. I think that is a concealer that did well in 2019. But again, the texture and the shade for the Giorgio Armani and the Shiseido, top notch. Best powder of 2019. Well, I will say the still best powder for me under the eyes has to be the Hourglass Translucent Veil. This, I believe, released in 2018. I've been using it ever since. It's coming down to the wire, friends. I might have to repurchase this loose powder. I primarily use it under the eye as I really love the texture for that task. I have to say the powder that impressed me the most in 2019, again, it has to go to Shiseido. This is the Radiant. They also have a matte loose powder formula. So the reason I'm not giving it to Pat is because I love the Pat powder. I've said it several times. I mean, I applied it today. What fell short for Pat with me is the packaging, of course. The net doesn't have any sort of stopper, so it could be quite messy upon application. And the shades are a little off in that there's a huge jump from light medium 2 to medium 3. Medium 3 is like very, very warm, almost orange. I couldn't use it even all over my face. It definitely changed the shade of my foundation, of my complexion. And under the eyes, you would have orange under eyes. So that's why I couldn't give it best of 2019 because of that for me. The Shiseido though, the Shiseido I feel is ideal for people who don't like to use powder but still need something to just lightly set the makeup. The design of this compact is just innovative. The fact that you have a net here and the way the powder dispenses is you simply, whether you take the puff that comes with the compact or you take a brush, you just press it and that's how the powder is dispensed, and it just allows for a very light application of powder. You don't have to worry about the powder being all over the lid or in the jar. It just stays intact and it's just so nice. It's lightweight, it's undetectable in terms of color, in terms of texture. You can't tell that this is on your skin. You can see the finish. You can see the finish in how your skin doesn't look dry, but it still looks radiant. It has a beautiful natural finish that doesn't look dull or doesn't look drab. It's just a great texture powder. And again, the innovation in design blew me away. The first time I opened that jar, I was like, this is so cool. I nerded on it real hard. I think, do I have a powder? I don't know if I ever reviewed it or if I ever edited that video. I'm gonna have to look at one of my external hard drives because I thought I might have done it, but I don't remember. But definitely had to give the Shiseido Radiant Loose Powder best of 2019 for the powder category for now. I don't know if I'll do a separate complexion video, but this, amazing. Bronzer. Bronzer still remains a makeup item that I will always chase. But I've been doing better. I haven't been chasing all the bronzers that have been coming out. I definitely narrowed it down to 2. I had to because I feel I use them extensively. I rotate through them constantly. I'll start with my all-time favorite. The first one I have to present is the Natasha Denona Tan Bronze and Glow. While I understand this is a face palette with one of my favorite highlighters of the year, this bronzer shade, oh my goodness. So I apply this as like a contour. I still don't consider it a contour because I feel it's very tawny in tone, and contour I feel is a little more neutral cool. This shade, I mean, and it goes up to NC50, so I feel is a lot more universal than most. Very light skin tones definitely have to be careful with this type of shade because it could look dirty on their skin tone. But for medium tan, and even into the dark category, again up to NC50, this leaves such a beautiful tone on the skin. And the powder itself, the powder texture itself, you could punch it in and it blends itself. It's so creamy without being too creamy, or when you apply it on your skin, it starts to turn muddy. No, when I apply this with a natural hair brush, I mean, I am blown away each and every time, and I've had this for months. This is just outstandingly beautiful. I still can't get over the texture of the powder, the tone, and again, I feel it's such a nice, unique shade where it's not like your typical red bronze or your yellow bronze. It's a tawny bronze that, dare I say, could even be applied as a very light blush, and sometimes a nice escape from your typical pinks and peaches and coral blushes that all have a role. Absolutely, they all add beautiful flush to the cheeks. There's something about this shade. Something about this shade. And let's not forget the cream products in here. You have a cream glow and the super glow highlighter powder that is simply gorgeous. I apply this with my sponge on my cheekbones, and when you apply this powder over it, it is blinding. Blinding. I love this palette. I love the fact that she did a smaller face palette because this has a mirror. It's not too big. It's not too overwhelming like her big 6-pan face palettes are. I've been using this nonstop, and it's just such a pleasure to use each and every time. I look forward to it. Every time I grab for it, I'm like, ooh, I'm ready. I'm ready for this bronzing sublime experience. The next bronzer I just had to include in my best of 2019. It has to be the Fenty bronzer. The Fenty bronzer, I feel, hit it out of the park in several ways. The packaging, I mean, this rose gold copper high mirrored shine compact. I mean, it's just stand out and beautiful to have in your collection. The shade range, I am a little disappointed that Miami Mommy, is that what it is a little red. I wish that Fenty would have come out with a bronzer, and this is within the same foundation conversation, that a bronzer that's deeper in color but still neutral in undertone and not so red. Hopefully maybe we could see that from them in the new year. This is in the shade Beijing Gyal. I also have Arlenting. I have Beijing Gyal on top of the Natasha Denona Tan Bronze and Glow. And again, Natasha Denona bronzer is matte. This is also matte, but it's matte without looking flat. This texture is unlike a typical traditional pressed powder. There's actually no kickback. Even if you punch your brush in, you're not going to get any kick up in the pan. What I found this bronzer to offer is the fact that you can layer this powder on your skin. It's not going to turn muddy or heavy. It's just going to appear richer in color, which is great because sometimes you like to build your bronzers. Sometimes you like to mix different bronzers up. And when you do that, you run the risk of looking a little bronzer muddy on the face. Yes, great tools do help, but the formula has to contribute something as well. And I feel this is what the Fenty bronzer does. She has 6 shades in there. Again, hopefully they can add a little more on the deeper side of the spectrum. I was just blown away by how easy it was to apply. I think this is a foolproof bronzer. Some of you had said that there's not a lot of pigmentation. Ideally, I do feel you need to use a natural hair brush, as I feel those bristles will pick up more pigment and apply more on your skin as opposed to a synthetic brush. But I've seen some videos that influencers have used a synthetic brush with this formula, and I thought they were successful. Is it going to be as pigmented as a natural hair brush application? Maybe not. I think the difference is slight. This though, you could build up. Again, you can build it up. It's going to look richer in color. It's not going to look flat on the skin despite it being a matte finish. There's like a radiance to it without it having to rely on shimmer or satin pigments or whatever they use to create that sheen. For instance, the Charlotte Tilbury bronzers you find in her Instant Look in a Face palettes, or even her Film Star Bronze and Glow duo, those have distinctive particles, shimmer particles in that formula that make it appear more glowy on the skin. Not to say that this is going to have the same glowy effect, but it's not going to look dull either. It's extraordinary. I really love this bronzer, and I juggle between this one and the Natasha Denona, and I still have my favorite bronzers in my collection. Like, not to say that I don't use those other bronzers at all, or will I ever stop using them. If I had to choose, this is best of 2019, and in general, right, for all makeup categories. So I had to cut it down to like cut it real down. So those are my 2 best bronzers for 2019. Blush. What blush has caused so much hysteria this year? You guessed it, this Cover of X blush, man. Did this come out in 2019? I'm having like a little bit of a brain fart. I could have sworn that it did. I feel like this blush My goodness. First, when it hit the shelves, it sold out so freaking fast. And then of course, there were some colors that restocked, some colors that didn't. I was lucky to get my hands on Pink Dahlia and Warm Honey. Warm Honey was such a unique shade to me in terms of blush. And the fact that it's duo, you have the matte blush and you have this beautiful highlight topper blush shade. So here's the thing, friends. This highlighter topper something or whatever, it's so nice on the cheeks. It gives a beautiful glow. You could actually mix these textures together and it's fine. I haven't had a blush that's matte that just gives the skin a beautiful radiant look. This is Pink Dahlia. I don't use this one as much. I definitely use either Warm Honey or Soft Peach more, but I like Pink Dahlia. I think Pink Dahlia needs some more love. Soft Peach, I feel, was one of the standout favorites and definitely one of the first ones to go. I have Soft Peach on with Beijing Gyal and the Natasha Denona bronzer. And the highlight shade from Soft Peach is so gorgeous. It has a beautiful sheen, but it doesn't look too textured on the face, especially if you like a more of a glowy finish when it comes to blush. You can't go wrong with the Cover FX blushes. That's why, and thank you so much, Jilly, for buying me the Scott Barnes blush palette. But initially, when I saw his palettes release and I saw the blush palette, I was like, I don't need to get it because I got my Cover FX blushes. And they are phenomenal. They have more shades in their range that I feel are just marvelous. They are just gorgeously perfect. From the cinnamon and like there's like a Mojave something. It's like a purpley type of tone. And they had bronzers as well. I am so proud of myself that I did not get any of the bronzers. Can you believe it? I'm shocked still to this day. Can't go wrong with those blushes. They are by far my favorite of 2019. The color range, the texture, matte but still smooth, easy to blend. They're very pigmented though, so I would say still go in with the light hand, especially if you have a deeper shade like Warm Honey or even Spice Cinnamon that has a lot of punch. Go in lightly, but they build beautifully, so if you want more impact, you can definitely apply more. The glowy highlighter shade you could apply on the very tops of the apples of the cheeks, or even bring it from cheek to cheekbone if you don't like to use a traditional champagne goldy highlighter. You could experiment a lot with those textures, and they just blow me away each and every time. I freaking love those Cover FX blushes. Highlighter. I had to think about this one as well in terms of when it came out. I'm like, 2018 or 2019 is all a blur. No other than the Givenchy Teint Couture Shimmer Powder. Listen, I passed by this highlighter and I decided to swatch it. I told the story in my top 5 highlighter video. And I was like, wow, you're pretty. I could not believe the texture of this highlighter. It's like a gel to powder compact. I feel so terrible that I marred the design of the pan. I mean, it was so beautifully regal. But this texture, so smooth, but it's bright. It has shine, it has brightness, it has radiance, it has smoothness. I had this on my cheekbones today and oh my goodness. Every time I revisit this highlighter when I use other highlighters like my Dior Backstage, I love that quad, my Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold Trio. There are so many highlighters in my collection that I absolutely love. Absolutely love. There's something about the Givenchy. The Givenchy just, in all categories, the texture, the color, the feel, the performance. You could use this with any brush. It's gonna look smooth. I feel it looks better with a natural hair brush. I haven't used it with a synthetic brush, so let me know if you have. But in terms of my own experience and just the finish it leaves behind, and it's the perfect light gold. It's just the color. The color itself is not too yellow and it's not too icy white. It's like, oh, and you could just layer this and layer it and it's not going to look heavy on the skin at all. It's just, I apply it with the sponge sometimes. I apply it with the brush. You could apply it on damp skin from spritzing. Sometimes I apply this on my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in number 3 if I want to wear that as like a cream highlight base. This over the Glow Cream in the Natasha Denona palette. It integrates itself well into several other products with several other tools. You just can't go wrong with the Givenchy. Cannot go wrong. Complexion is done, so what about eyes? Eyeshadow palette video is definitely coming your way, but if I had to just pick one for the sake of including it in this video, and I have it on my eyes, I have to give it to the Viseart Dark Edit. I had to. Where do I begin? Where do I freaking begin? Versatility, ease of package. 12 shades. You got 12 shades in here. Yes, they're small, but you're not going to run through these quickly anytime soon. So the amount is perfect. You have 4 shimmers and the 4 mattes. Viseart mattes. Where do I begin? One of the best matte formulas in the market. The way they blend, easy. Use any brush, easy blend. Smooth. I mean, takes no time whatsoever. Another standout quality about Viseart matte, namely in this palette, I have the purple on the olive. You know how sometimes, I don't know, from another brand, you will mix purple and olive? It'll just be like a brown, like a brown. You still see the purple. It still appears distinctly purple. And then I use the olive shade to blend it out. And I have this beautiful emerald metallic shimmer, or just shimmer, I keep mixing those words together, on my lid. It's like, oh my goodness. And then the orange neutral brown tones, the sienna tones here. Ugh, absolutely gorgeous. So many possibilities with this palette in terms of it just being an all matte look, or matte and shimmer, a little bit of both. The way the mattes layer and they don't muddy up, they just still appear true to color from pan to lid. And again, the ease of blend, you can't go wrong. Although these shades might look intimidating, because the formula is so easy to use, you could just be a little more adventurous. You could dive into these shades if you haven't before because they just appear too rich or what have you. No. You can build these up slowly, and then you don't have to feel as intimidated, and you have these beautiful, cool, jewel tone colors on your lid. Stand out. And under the shadow, best eyeliner of 2019. I know I recently just got these, but I had to include them in this video because they are that good and that impressive. The Linda Hallberg crayons. I have Vega, I believe the name of it is. It was in her newest Fusion kit. I have Vega as a base for the emerald shade in the Viseart palette, and then I have the shade Altair Flash, the orange on this eye. Oh my god, these are so color rich and they blend beautifully. They set though, so you have a little window of time to blend and to play before they set, and they don't move, friends. They don't move. And I think this is an ideal tool to have if you want to extend the longevity of your eyeshadow. If you want to make the color impact just pop from your lid and just come forward with that intensity, you got to use these crayons. You have to use these crayons. And I love it because you could apply these on your waterline and they won't budge. You could use them to enhance a powder eyeshadow. You could use them just on their own. You could apply this all on your lid. You could use this to carve out cut crease lines. You can use these for anything. You could use these on your brows, your lip, anywhere on your face, because Linda products are formulated to be used not just for like the obvious indicated part of your face, but you could use them anywhere, and it just kind of widens your creativity and possibility of use. If I wanted olive eyebrows, I could give myself olive eyebrows. Great. Amazing. I have all her crayons because during like the Black Friday, Cyber Monday event that ran for like a whole month, she had her crayon sets 50% off. And of course, I picked one set up months ago. I picked like one of her metallic liner sets, and I was just so thoroughly impressed that I was like, the next time she has another sale, I'm getting all of them. All of them. Have to give it up to Linda for these crayon formulas, friends. I mean, they are phenomenal. Phenomenal. Not only the texture and the performance, but the color story I think is great, that she has primary colors with the secondary colors with like the blue and the red and the green, and she has her neutrals too with the brown, the white, and the grays and the blacks, and then you have like the fun metallic bronzes, golds, silvers, and then you have like the turquoise and like the other frosty shades, and now you have these. Just phenomenal. I think this came out in 2019. Hopefully. The topper formula that I felt was best for 2019 was the Kaja trio stacks. These suckers sold out so fast. There was one stack in particular that you could not find anywhere for a few weeks. I don't know where that one is. I think I have it in my backpack for like a backup. If I wanted to spice up an eye look, I could just pat it down on the lid or whatever color I had on that day. This is the Toasted Caramel Trio in 03. They're all attached and you have different topper textures and shades in the trio. But here's the thing. They're so smooth and easy to use. You could apply this on any of your shadows to really bump up the shine and reflectivity. And I feel they're just so simple in terms of application. You could just very lightly rub, a little goes a long way, and you can tap and you have the dazzle. Such beautiful reflectivity without feeling heavy on the lid. It's not going to disrupt your shadow that you have on at the time. It's going to play well with this. It's going to play well with any texture you apply this on. And they're so easy. They're so small. They're so compact. You could drop this in your bag just in case if you're traveling and the eyeshadow palette or whatever shadow you decide to bring doesn't have like a dazzle factor in the formula. You pop this in the bag and you're ready to go. Best cream eyeshadow of 2019. I think the shade might have come out in 2019, but not the formula. I gotta give it to Charlotte again, is her Eyes to Mesmerize pots. This is in rose gold. Man, oh man. This is such a beautiful moussey formula. Unlike anything I have ever used. The lightweight texture of it, the ease of blend, the fact that you could blend this out with a finger or a brush, the fact that this is just designed to amplify any shadow you apply on top of it, but it's not going to get textured or weird or uneven on your lid. It's just so smooth and lightweight, because sometimes when you mix certain creams and powders, it just gets a little weird on the skin. Not these. Especially when you use these with her own eyeshadow formula, it is sublime. But using this with other eyeshadow formulas, I think it's just a great way to go. You don't even have to apply a powder on this. You could just apply this on its own. If you really want to bump up the intensity, then you'll maybe lightly pack it on. But if you wanted to sheer it out and just have a softer finish, you could sheer it out and it's just going to still look beautiful. It's just going to still look beautiful. Stand out, marvelous, can't get over that. Best mascara for 2019. For a long time, I was using the Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof mascara. But I realized even during the sales that Sephora will have several times during the year, I was like, why am I spending upwards of 20 bucks for mascara that I'm gonna get rid of under 3 months because I use them so frequently that I don't even reach the 3-month expiration suggestion. So I was like, I gotta find another mascara. I gotta find something from the drugstore, and there was nothing against drugstore mascara. It just seemed like the ones I were trying weren't great until I fell upon the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. This is probably my 4th tube. I have another one, new package on standby behind me. Amazing. I feel the voluminous Lash Paradise in the waterproof Blackest Black upholds the curl better, and let me tell you, man, this mascara blew me away. I was thrilled, so happy that I found a cheaper alternative to the Better Than Sex. And listen, I love the Better Than Sex mascara. If I happen to have like free tubes lying around, I would just use that one. But to keep buying them at that price, at my frequency, wasn't making sense financially. And that's why I wanted to find something cheaper, but will still perform the same way, similarly. I like this better when I use it a few times and the formula tightens up a bit and it creates a more thicker lash. But man, oh man, I freaking love this mascara. It has beautiful curl. My lashes stay up all day. They don't feel hard or brittle. They don't feel over drying, because I know sometimes waterproof formulas can be very drying on the eyes. I wear contacts all day. I've never run into any issues with this mascara in regards to the waterproof formula drying my eyeballs out. So that is great. Is that it? No, no, no. Lipstick. I gotta give it to 2 standout favorites for best lipstick of 2019. It has to be, without a doubt, the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude and the Lisa Eldridge True Velvet Matte. I have the I Need a Nude in Noah today. Oh my god. These lipstick, look, is nearly almost done. I've been using the heck out of it. This lipstick formula is just beautifully smooth. The minute you apply these on your lips, it's like cream nation. Oh my goodness. The texture amazing. I love the tone of the nudes that I have. I use Noah, Michelle, and Sammy. Michelle is a little beigey on me, but I love it still. because I think it's such a great pop of beige on the center of the lip. This is Michelle here. I think it's a gorgeous color. I love my Hepburn Honey. I love my Hepburn Honey, but I prefer the texture of the Natasha Denona over the kissing texture from Charlotte Tilbury. Now the Lisa Eldridge lipstick. The fact that this is a matte, but it still is very smooth on the lip is phenomenal. And this shade is so, it's a mystery. This looks so different on several skin tones, but it works on whatever skin tone you apply it on. It's like magic. Lisa, what did you do? A lot of people feel even though the formula is great, it's still a matte and it's not their favorite finish, and I get it. I think this is quite impressive for being a matte and not feeling dry on the lips for me. Sometimes I mix it up with my Natasha, sometimes I mix it up with my Charlotte Tilbury, you know what I mean? And best lip liner for 2019. I got to give it to the Mel Thompson Christian Audette. I have to. This is a great formula. This doesn't budge. You apply this on your lip, it's not moving. And especially very helpful if you have a long day, you're eating. Reapplying lip liner could be a little bit of a hassle. But if you at least have the lip liner on, then reapplying lipstick is like a-okay. This is in the shade Smoochies, which is very much inspired by Kelsey Brianna J's Smoochies. I love this color. I think it's such a perfect setup for all of my nude shades, especially if I want a little more contrast along the lip. Let's get on now. I have something on my face. Perfect amount of brown. It gives the perfect amount of shading. And again, shading. You apply it once and it's good to go all day. You don't only have to apply it as a lip liner, but you could fill up your lip and have like a good, strong, long-lasting base, and then apply your favorite lipstick on top. My other standout favorites, of course, the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil, the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude, the new Natasha Denona lip liners I picked up during the haul, my Pat McGrath lip liners I haven't used in ages and I recently used yesterday. I'm like, where have I been? But this for me is standout in terms of the color and the tone. I really love this. So Mel, congratulations again. Thank you for a beautiful collaboration. Honored to receive these in PR. I felt so loved. Great lip liner, great lipsticks as well, as the collection did come with 2 lip liners and 2 lipsticks. Smoochies I had to include in my favorites. Absolutely. And last but not least, I know this is not like something you apply on your face, but I very much consider it to play a huge role in my overall beauty routine. And that has to be the Live Love Polish Multi-Chrome Magnetic Nail Polish. Although I don't have it on today because I needed to get on camera and do my videos, and applying the magnetic multi-chrome takes a little more time than a regular nail polish, I still had to include it in this video. And the reason why is because I felt in 2019, I fell hard into nail polish, hard. I was doing my nails more often. I was just having fun with different textures and finishes. The magnetic multi-chrome, friends, it's once you dive in, you don't want to wear anything else. It's so much fun to just play with the different designs you can create. And you're like, magnetic? What are you talking about? Every time you get a magnetic nail polish, you most likely will get a tool with it, and you could just see the pigments move. This is what it's going to do on your nail, and it's just a cool effect. This is from their Galaxy collection. I have their Feline collection that came with like 6 different magnetic multi-chromes. I went ham on that. This one is in Dark Matter. This one is really cool. It's hard to see on camera. It's something you have to experience in person when you paint your nails. But let me tell you, it is fun. And the fact that your nails look like they have galaxies, they have the cosmos are on your nail beds. I would put one color on one hand, the other color on the other hand, and I would just have a blast. It just adds something nice to the conversation. And if you're someone that loves color but you're not really comfortable with color on your eyes, right? But you want to play with something that you can still see and use. I think nail polish in general, it doesn't have to be magnetic multi-chrome. In general, it's a great opportunity to just integrate that creativity and fun in your beauty routine and just have something that's colorful and bright in your face, not necessarily on your face, but you can wear it on your nails. And magnetic multi-chromes, man, not only that, but like holographic, metallic mattes I have here. This is a duochrome situation from from Cirque Colors is Velveteen. I'll put everything down below, but man, oh man. This year was like nail polish year for me. Oh my goodness. And I'm not stopping anytime soon. I'm trying to pump the brakes a little bit because I definitely went crazy during Black Friday. But what I've been buying, I've just been having so much fun. I just love how they look on camera, in real life. I'm the best. And that is it, my friends. My best makeup products for 2019, man, was it hard to narrow it down. But at the same time, it wasn't, because you know what you love. You know what you reach for the most. You know the products that have the best positive impact on you. It just makes you feel good to use them. It just has security, right? No matter what day it is, whatever, your favorite bronzer, your favorite blush, highlighter, eyeshadow, what have you, foundation is gonna hold you down. It's gonna look amazing no matter what. And I feel those are the products that are stand out for me for best of the year. And again, that doesn't mean that all the other products I have in my collection, I hate, that I will never use again. But when it comes down to narrowing it down to a list, to a very curated, edited list, I have to think about the products that come out on top in terms of performance, what I use all the time. And every time I use them, I'm just blown away each and every time. Some products I feel like they're good and they're gonna do well no matter what. But there's some products that even for as long as you have them, and you still have this moment of like, oh, this is so good. I feel those are considered favorites for me, especially throughout the year. Let me know what your favorite makeup items have been. Can't wait to see Kate's favorites. It'll be nice to see, maybe we have a little like crossover going on. I gotta check it out. I definitely want to do best skincare, best eyeshadow palette, best brushes. Thinking about cheek products, but let me know if you want to see cheek products. I'll be more than happy to do that down below. Maybe I'll do best nail polish 2019. I have a lot of different nail polishes I've used throughout the year, so why not? I think it's just a matter of time and seeing what I can accomplish, because I'm going to see Maddie a lot in January, and I don't necessarily want to bring all the stuff that I need in the video over to her place, because that would just be insane. But I'm gonna make it happen as best as I can. Let me know your feedback down below, and until then, friends, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And again, a huge thank you to Kate. Thank you so much for collaborating with me on this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing not only to my channel but to Kate the Great's channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another review, tutorial, get ready with me, or best of list. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.